Maybe I should be writing more songs about war and peace. But can I be honest for a moment, girl, at least? The way that the fabric lays on your lovely physique is so unique.
And I'm back once again to give y'all a dope album that I reviewed this past week. It's been out for a few weeks, and this week I'll be covering Oddisee's The Good Fight. So you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned. Before that, this past week we did have some sad news in the hip-hop community. Unfortunately, rapper Chinx Drugs, who was down with the Coke Boys, if you're familiar with French Montana, he actually had the Cocaine Riot series. He released a couple of LPs. I think maybe one on in 2011. I actually forget the name of it. Forgive me, but Chinx Drugs, he was gunned down this past week, and it's very unfortunate. We send our condolences as a hip hop community to his family. We send our condolences to the Coke Boys, and you know, I did listen to Chinx Drugs. He was introduced to me through French Montana. It was a track with him and Prodigy in French that kind of made me, you know, want to listen to a little bit of his music. But a couple of tracks that kind of stand out for me is a track called "We Up in Here." Another nice track that I enjoyed that had a nice little meaning was "Pressure on My Head," which I really enjoyed by Chinx. So you know, I'm not a real big French Montana fan, but I will say in the Coke Boys, Chinx Drugs actually was a highlight in that particular movement. So once again, please, as a community, we really need to stop the violence, and we really need to try to come together and build together. You know, I don't know all the ins and outs, but just as a whole, lives are affected, people are affected, hip-hop community is affected, and if you care about any of that, your family and things of that nature, please, let's put an end to this violence. And something else sad happened this past week. How can I explain this, y'all? But Jamie Foxx released a new album, Hollywood, A Story of a Dozen Roses. It's so horrible. It really just makes you upset that somebody could still release garbage like this. Okay, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. If you give this album a great rating, then you just don't listen to music. Okay, this is a failed attempt at trying to reach a younger audience. Being an older guy, you know, I don't know. I just like real soulful R&B music, and this is just a horrible album. I don't even know other way to even explain it. I thought with the title that it was going to have some kind of concept or meaning. None. Okay, period, blank, none. Horrible. Tracks that people are probably going to listen to just because of the feature. You Change Me featuring Chris Brown. Of course, people are going to hit play just so they can hear Chris Brown, but you know, he's just talking about how he met a woman and she's changed him into being a better man. You know, same thing that everybody else be talking about. Same beat, like a drum featuring Wale. You know, once again, I'm just too old. I'm gonna beat it like a drum. He going to talk about how he about to tear the chick up, and you know, it got some cursing in it and all that. It's just it's just a failed attempt to be sexy. I mean, if women think that he's sexy, then I must be freaking Boris Kojo or something. Alright, and I know I ain't him. So that answers that question. Tease, produced by Pharrell. The same beat Pharrell always used, the same little disco track. It's produced by Pharrell, featuring Pharrell. It's the same thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. horrible. I guess that's the only way you can even explain it. Hollywood, just like at the fight, you know, at the Mayweather fight, his voice sounds so forced. It's not strong. It's not falsetto. I don't know. It just sounds like he's pushing it out of the back of his ears or something. I don't know. It's just whatever. Album has no story. I can't even. Who told this guy that we wanted to listen to 18 tracks of him? Who really said that? Who's in the studio engineering this? Like, yo, this is a great idea. We're going to give them 18 tracks of Jamie Foxx, a comedian that nobody takes seriously in the music. Well, at least I don't anyway. Socialite on the back end after you done got through 100 tracks of this nonsense. He says, you know, I don't know how she gets it, but she got it. Once again, it's just like trying to be young. You know, just at your age, man, make some good quality soul R&B music for the listeners if you're going to do music, because it's not a lot of actors or comedians that have, you know, crossed over to the music side that's making good quality music. I mean, i.e. freaking Eddie Murphy. Cut it out, dude. Put your freaking suits on and dress up like Wanda or whatever you're going to do and make people laugh. Act. You know what I mean? Leave it alone, dude. Okay, and once again, true hip-hoppers can be, you know, happy because the boy from DC, my man Oddisee, brought out his album, The Good Fight. And I can tell you, this album does have a concept. This album actually does have meaning. You know, just basically fighting through the nonsense, you know, even though you're not mainstream, but what you're fighting for, you're being successful in. And we all know Oddisee is good at that and has been good at that for years. He's been out for quite some time. I think I probably got introduced to him maybe around 2008, 2009. But he has a couple of instrumental albums before that. But I think my first download might have been 101, which is really great album by Oddisee. Another good album he released, I think in 2013, it was People Hear What They See. Really quality, good music. And then I love the Diamond District. It's called In the Rough, but it's really an Oddisee album. And it's a really great album. So, you know, those are a couple pickups that you might want to listen to, and you'll just see the growth of Oddisee as he goes on his plight, and as he reaches this level in the hip hop world. This is probably going to go down in 2015. As of right now, it's one of the top albums of 2015, in my opinion. You know, it's just something that a true hip hop head can get into and really appreciate musically, lyrically, and we'll hop right in. I don't know if it's track one or whatever. I've been looping this crazy, but once something done, it basically talks about you know, surviving in the underground, and you know, regardless of the mainstream success, and you know, what he's doing is basically working for him, and it's a great concept. The beat is real banging. So I really like that. Contradiction, Maze, another nice track with some smooth vocals. I don't want to tear up the young lady's name who does the vocals on there, but it's a nice hot track. He's saying basically he's doing what you know, it's like the fight to do what you want to do, instead of doing, you know, the right things, getting into things that are really minute and don't help you, and saying that you're going to do certain things, but doing other things. So basically, you know, contradicting yourself. First Choice, I really love this. It just tells you about, you know, taking a chance on your first thought, you know, not procrastinating. When you think of something, you want to just you want to just go do it, and stop fighting with yourself, being afraid. Do your first choice, and I really, really enjoy that. And also, A List Without Words. I really, really enjoy that track too. Basically, letting people know, what you have to have inside of you to deal with the certain things if you're trying to do what he does. So, I really, really enjoy that, how he breaks that down. Certain things that has to be inside of you or what you don't have, for you to achieve what he has. Okay, if you got what I'm saying. Book Covers is another nice track that I really, really enjoy. Book covers, it's just basically, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't look at him and think that you can judge him, and say that he's this type of person when he's really this type of person. I really appreciate one of the verses on that on that track rather, where he talks about he sees a woman at like a meet and greet, and he sizes her up, and he says, oh, she's probably a vegetarian, she's this, she's that, and then once he gets to know her, he finds out she's something completely different, and he could have lost her just assuming that she is something else that she's really not. So I really, really enjoy that. And I tell you, man, on the back end of this song is called I Meant It When I Said It. And the way that he breaks this down is he talks about, his choice. He moved to Brooklyn. So we know he's from DC, he moved to Brooklyn. So he's talking about, the reason why he went to Brooklyn and how he told the people from where he was at how he was going to take care of things, when he got to Brooklyn, and how they asked him for a record deal and how he promised them a record deal. And then now, some of those same people think he's fronting on them. Now, not that he's fronting, they've changed, and when he said what he was going to do prior, he meant it when he said it. You know what I mean? But now you've changed, or so the situation has changed. So that's something that I really, really, as a person listening to somebody that is, creating art or talking about a story or talking about real life situations, that's what I really, really enjoy. So you really don't want to miss this album. You want to pick up this Oddisee album called The Good Fight. Please do not miss out on this if you're a true hip-hop fan. Okay, and I'm going to give this album a rating, all right? From production to content to lyrics, a person that went from, creating beats and being able to still, be a good rapper. I have to give this album a solid 3.5. It's really, it's a nice piece of work. And I gotta say that so far it's in my top tier of the albums of this year. If you're not familiar, I rate it to 5, and if you want to divide that by 2, you can do what you got to do. So I'm gonna end it on that.
You are a treasure that I really must obtain. My only desire, I don't even know.